Welcome back to In Ohio Country today. We're here at Homan Inc. in beautiful Mercer County, and with me is Dale Everman. And Dale, we're here today to talk about feeding. Things have changed radically in the feeding livestock feeding business since I was a kid, and we're here to kind of talk about, bring folks up to date on that.
The biggest keyword in feeding anymore is efficiency. The biggest thing that we can do is help these guys do more with less. We want your dairies to have less guys have their hands on the feed. One guy running a payloader, one guy running a tractor, and being able to see what they need to do, what needs to go into the mixer, rations and everything show up on their screen. They know where to get it. They know what to put in there. And more and more of these guys are starting to get into the robotic feeding, where we have robots that go out and feed. We've actually got a kitchen going in northern Indiana right now where we've got 2 mixers with a premix. I think there's 13 hopper bins around it. It loads it into a bigger TMR mixer, somewhat like this, ran by an electric motor, and then it loads it into trucks that take it to 2 separate dairies, so that way they can centralize all their feed and they're not traveling across a mile block to do both of them.
Well, since I was a kid, things have changed a lot. You were just talking about the rations and all those kind of things. We used to feed the silage here, and then we would feed the hay here, and then the cows would get some grain in the milking parlor, and that was how we fed them, and that's not at all today what goes on.
No, these TMR mixers, these are where you put all your silage and stuff, mix it all together, and then it puts it in a palatable form where these cows can eat it, digest it, and get the most feed efficiencies out of it. So with the preciseness of these products going in, these cows are pushing 100 plus pounds a day, so they're getting more out of what they're putting in.
Well, we always would laugh when I was a kid. We would put the hay in the bunk, and then you'd have silage over here, and some cows would eat the hay, and some would only eat the silage, and they would sort through it. This is not an option for them anymore.
No, the way these cut up, and with these Tree Elite mixers is they have 3-speed transmissions on them, so it allows you to start slower and then work into a faster process, which gains more efficiencies on your tractor and fuel usage, and what your mixing time is out on the pad while you're entering your stuff.
So it's interesting. You were talking about rations and all those kind of things, and these things, they can get it down to the pound of what they're putting in.
Yeah, absolutely. And even with what they can offer now, usually you had to try to squint to see a screen that was on the side of the mixer for the scales. Now they've got an option where it pushes it into the wirelessly into your Tree Elite control in the payloaders, so you can see what's going into the machine without having to squint or put a big screen up to see what's going in it. It's extremely efficient, and I'm very confident that the guys running the payloaders appreciate it as well.
Well, and not only that, but the tractor operator, these are all ISO compliant, and they'll run on anything, right?
Yep. Your bigger tractor, I don't care if it's a Fendt, John Deere, a lot of that stuff feeds into the controls that are into them already. And as the way the dairies are running anymore, where they were happy with a certain percentage of loss, or now it's down to the precise pound, like you said, and what they're knowing, what's going in, what's coming out, is a huge manager relief, knowing how precise they can get with them.
Well, we've done a lot of, and I know you install dairies, and so feeding is only part of it, because once you know what's going in, the cow's wearing the tag, what's coming out on the other end, right? This is all just part of making a dairy more efficient.
Yeah, with what we're monitoring each cow with their tags, whether it's on a rotary milker or a robot, it'll tell you what cow's doing, if they've got issues. So everything comes full circle with a management system that tells you how each cow's doing, how you're feeding, what your feed's doing, and if you need to make any adjustments.
Yeah, so when we start talking about mixing rations, they have to mix tons of stuff. This mixer back here, what would this one hold back here?
It's a 4600, so it's designed for your larger 4,000 or 5,000 head dairies. But yeah, all different sizes for all different applications, and whether it's dairy or beef, there's a use for them. We dabble in a lot of different areas in the feed livestock world, we'll put it that way. We've got feed bins, hammer mills, roller mills, And we do all different setups for cattle setups, whether it's coming out of a hopper bin or a flat bottom bin and going to a mill, so that way they can precise, used to be where when you ordered cracked corn or something, it was whatever the mill brought you. Now you can kind of put your own screens in and decide where you want to go and get your grinding and roller mill specs set to feed your system.
Well, and it's more than just corn that's going in the feed. I mean, I think about Guardian Energy as an example, and distillers grains that they use. All that's part of the process for the beef and the dairy folks to make that feed.
Absolutely. And the nice part about having these hopper bins on site is it allows you to put 3, 4, up to 30-ton bins up that you can utilize with your own feeding system, whether you want to mix into a self-contained mixer and distribute to your animals, or if you want to put it into a system where you can grind in one spot, unload, and take it to your bins with a material handling application. You ask any farmer or any business out there, labor right now is a struggle to keep. And in anything that we can do to take the physical manpower out of a situation seems to be a benefit, where anybody can utilize the feed system layout, and by flipping a button or running off a timer is a lot less stress on the farmer himself or anybody that's running cattle or livestock in general. Check us out at homaninc.com, where you can see all of the equipment that we carry. We cater to the livestock and grain world, so whether it's ventilation, feed, or grain, we've got something that will fit your facility.
And you can check them out at inohiocountry.com, and there's a link on there to their website. We'll be back with more right after this.